You know, I say it all the time, gotta say it again, because I love the LA Kings fan base on YouTube. You are so kind to me, to a magnitude that doesn't really exist between any of the other fan bases that exist on this website. It's kind of funny how the LA fan base is the one that is definitely the nicest, most receptive, kindest, and most acknowledging of these videos and the content that we make. And as a result, because we made a video talking about Alexis Lafreniere just 2 hours ago, well, I'm making this video like 2 minutes after the previous one. It's just going to be uploaded 2 hours after the previous one. I wanted to take some time to talk about Quinton Byfield because, man, this guy is probably going to be coming over to the LA Kings soon. And I'm honestly pretty confident in saying that, even though at the time of recording this video, 2:55 a.m. in the morning, Monday, April 26th, in Pacific Standard Time. I'm in Vancouver, so we're in that PST time zone. Even though we have no confirmation whatsoever, I think it's probably more likely than not likely, and in fact, even disregarding the potential call-up, Quinton Byfield's in a spot where this guy is legitimately giving us so much to talk about as a hockey discussion YouTube channel. The thumbnail, the title, it all says something along the lines of Unleashing the Beast, because if you know Quinton Byfield, you know the profile he boasts, you know the skills that he has. He's a huge center, 6'4", 220 pounds, one of the youngest players of that 2020 NHL Entry Draft. And because the OHL has been shut down this season, he had been playing his entire year with the Ontario Reign, the club in the AHL that is the LA Kings minor affiliate. He didn't really start things out all too hot. He didn't really have that much points to kick off the year. But if you take a look at how things have gone now, Quinton Byfield is second on the team in scoring, behind Arthur Kaliev with 20 points in 30 games played. Kaliev, by the way, has 2 extra games. Quickly behind them, though, if you see going down the list, hey, there's Elias Anderson right there, 14 points, 14 games. That guy's doing really well because he's kind of an NHL caliber guy already. But for Quinton Byfield, because he's the subject of this video, it's actually kind of crazy how this number comes about. 20 points, 30 games played. He's gotten 13 points in his previous 15 games. He kicked off the year with 7 points in his first 14, so he was half a point a game then. But after a while, after adjusting to the system, after being given a chance, he went out there, started scoring at a point-per-game pace, and as a guy who's literally only 18 years old playing in a pro men's league, yeah, I think that's pretty good, isn't it? 18 years old, AHL hockey, point-per-game guy. Yeah, I like it. In fact, there are so many things to talk about with Quinton Byfield. I wanted to go over this game right here. This is from a month ago, Sunday, March 21st, 2021. The Ontario Reign defeated the Bakersfield Condors, which is the Edmonton Oilers farm team, 5-4 in a shootout. This game was really significant because what this game saw was Quinton Byfield skating on a line with Devontae Smith-Pelly and Akil Thomas, making it one of the first all-black lines in pro hockey that we have seen in years. The first all-black line that we saw in a pro hockey league was between Manny McIntyre and brothers Aussie and Herb Carnegie back in the late 40s. This was the very first pro hockey league all-black line. And, I mean, this new line with Smith-Pelly, Byfield, and Akil Thomas was one of the newer ones. In fact, Akil Thomas's dad skated on a few as well, but I'm not too sure if these were pro leagues, so I don't really know if those count in the same way, but either way, this game was significant because we had the all-black line, and we had ourselves what was a crazy comeback story eventually going on. Quinton Byfield kicked things off with a goal 4 minutes into the first period, assisted by Cole Hultz and Devontae Smith-Pelly. The Bakersfield Condors then went ballistic. They scored 5 minutes later, they scored in the second period, they scored 39 seconds into the third, and they scored 4 minutes after that, giving themselves a 4-1 lead. Guess what happens in the last 3 minutes and 7 seconds of the game? Akil Thomas scores a goal. Okay, that one was kind of assisted by Byfield. He centered it. It went off of the Condors guy in front. He kind of had possession, and then Akil Thomas took it back, so there was an unassisted goal right there. And then you give it a little bit later. Hey, it's a tic-tac-toe play. Elias Anderson to Byfield to Thomas. He scores. Oh my goodness. There's 2 goals in the span of less than 2 minutes for Akil Thomas to bring the Reign within 1. And then guess what happens a minute after that? Akil Thomas gets himself another one. A natural hat trick for Akil Thomas in the last 3 minutes of this game to tie it up, and eventually he scores the shootout winner too. So that was a crazy, crazy game, and that's why I wanted to talk about that in this video, because Byfield had a very big part in this game. He could have had 3 points. He's only listed with 2. And if you're saying in the comments, Lego, why'd you have to bring up this game? That doesn't really matter. Yeah, it kind of does. First all-black line we have seen in pro hockey in a very long time. A natural hat trick in the last 3 minutes to tie the game, and then that same guy eventually scoring the shootout winner. Shades of Ryan Poehling there, by the way. The Hockey Hall of Fame has already reached out to the LA Kings and the Ontario Reign for materials from this game, because they want to showcase it, put a spotlight on what happened on this night, and hey, I can totally understand why they wanted to do that. The circumstances were incredible here. But now we go over why exactly I'm saying that Byfield's going to be called up. Here's an article from mayorsmanor.com. This is from John Hoven, a guy who has some pretty good insight into LA Kings news and prospect stuff and all that. He's been very in the know with LA Kings material in this respect, and he posted this article yesterday. Sunday, the Ontario Reign projected lineup plus Byfield and Lias Andersson updates. Mayor's Manor previously reported that Quinton Byfield will play his last game with the Ontario Reign today. Today, as in yesterday when the article was published. FYI, they were playing a game against the San Jose Barracuda. They lost 4-2. Byfield didn't get any points, but, I mean, he had 4 shots, and hey, you can't win them all, right? But the article says they reported that Byfield will play his last game at the Reign today, possibly forever, yet most certainly for a while. Then within the last few hours, we confirmed again the plan remains in place to call up the organization's top prospect following Sunday's matchup while visiting the San Jose Barracuda. As we understand things, the article says, an actual date for Byfield's NHL debut is still a work in progress. He'll begin by practicing with the Kings, and then they'll see how things develop from there. Our best estimate is that he won't debut on April 26th against the Ducks, hey, that's today, as he wouldn't have had the chance to be on the ice with everybody very much. The article then talks about how Lias Andersson was also used as a call-up, so interesting things are going on with the LA Kings and how exactly they're going to go about with their roster management. The article highlights how if Byfield becomes the team's next call-up, Rob Blake will only have 2 more call-ups from the Reign available to him, so if it's going to be Kaliev or Turcotte or Akil Thomas or Kupari or Fajimo or Durzi, any one of these guys could be given their chance next, so we'll see how exactly things go on in the next few weeks for the LA Kings. Obviously, if you're a Kings fan, not really focused on this year, but focused on the future, the long-term future, you're excited, you're salivating at these ideas right here. But yeah, Byfield either way has shown off at this level that he does have what it takes to be a good point producer. There was a stretch where he had 12 points in 12 games played before actually kind of trailing off a little bit in the previous month. It's just that's not really reflected well in terms of the scheduling, because you know how AHL schedules work. They have huge long breaks. They can go a week without playing a game, and then boom, they've got like 3 in a row or something. It's kind of weird how the AHL schedule works out, but Byfield still has produced at this level, and again, he's 18 years old. What more do you want from this guy? Gotta remember, he's still second on the team in scoring, behind Arthur Kaliev of all people. And in fact, before yesterday's game against the Barracuda, they were actually tied. Kaliev got an assist on Alex Turcotte's third on the year in the previous game played, so that's why Kaliev is at 21 points, Byfield only at 20. Of course, Byfield in fewer games played though, so it balances itself out. And so for Quinton Byfield, when he does get called up, because it probably will happen soon, my only question is, where do you decide to play this guy? You probably play him at center, maybe, right? Right now, if you take a look at the daily faceoff charts, the LA Kings center core goes as follows: Anze Kopitar, Blake Lizotte, Gabe Vilardi, and Jarrett Anderson-Dolan. You have a whole bunch of other guys in the wing as well, like Matt Luff, Carl Grundstrom, Austin Wagner, Trevor Moore, Dustin Brown, Kempe. We'll see who gets swapped out of the lineup to make way for a Quinton Byfield, and what exactly the kinds of opportunities are going to be given to this guy if he steps into the NHL for, let's say, 9 games or whatever. Do they give him the Alexis Lafreniere treatment by playing him in the bottom 6, or do they put all their apples into the basket right away and try to make a power play with Dustin Brown, Anze Kopitar, Quinton Byfield, Iafallo, and Drew Doughty? That's probably not going to be what it is. I'm just kind of spitting, kind of just throwing some names together, seeing what sticks. But yeah, if you're a Kings fan, talk to me in the comments what you thought about this entire video, all the stuff we talked about. Quinton Byfield making history, highest drafted black hockey player into the NHL ever, playing on one of the only all-black professional hockey league lines we have seen in a very long time, and being in a spot where he'll probably get called up soon after already being such a big force on the Ontario Reign in the AHL. Comment down below all your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video. Ash Rolls 99, and bye.